Welcome back everyone for the next part of Limbus Company. It's been one entire week and a very long Saturday, in which case I had to set up the whole PC with all the settings as quickly and as determined as possible, because let's be serious. It's been so long since the last time that I had to set up a PC. It actually took a while in order to get the settings right, especially for OBS and DaVinci. But now we're here. Now everything should technically work as it's intended. I'm not entirely sure if it is just yet. But we will see, right? If you guys notice anything weird in the video itself that I wasn't able to catch, please tell me. I'm still trying to set it up correctly. I took a couple of screenshots before anything bad happened, so that I have the general guidelines of my settings that I used before. But yeah, if it sounds a bit weird, tell me about it. I'm gonna fix it in the next 2 parts or so. Yeah, that's the current plan. Nevertheless, where were we in the last part? Let me see. Drive? Right. In the last part, we finished up Yield My Flesh. We were about to go to Canto 6 with the Heartbreak, but before that, we still have the risk level and the classification. Now, we already know that this chapter is related to Heathcliff, so how about before we go back here, we first have to decide. Alright, wait, where is it? Here's our team. We first have to decide who we are going to kick for Heathcliff, because let's be serious, in the last chapter it was Ishmael's chapter, and kind of were forced to bring Ishmael into pretty much all of our fights. Now there's a decent chance that they're going to do the same thing for Heathcliff. So in that regard, let's see our options, huh? Let's see our options. Technically speaking, it would be preferred if we had anything related to paralysis or bleed. Because right now we still run the Kurokuma clan, even though I did have a bit of a difficulties keeping up with all of my poise, or rather not poise, my bleed count, which is a bit of an issue because I really need those guys. I love the speed, I love the bind and paralysis that both of them give, especially for our Ryoshu. That's the thing. I love the bind, I need the bind for the spider. I need the haste for my sword. And those two I don't want to kick because they belong to the freer set. But I need the count. If I don't bring my sword, I'm lacking the count. Not that it would make much of a difference, because Ryoshu's special ability only works after uptime 4, right? Let's see. Yeah, she checks for count after uptime 4, not before. Right? Yeah. So technically speaking, the count isn't completely necessary just yet. But practically speaking, it's only a matter of time before she gets uptied to 4 as well, right? Oh, difficult. Very difficult. I really don't have a choice. The only good idea that would fit into this team would be Corp. Technically speaking, the She Association would be kind of good as well, because it comes with the Wrath and the Envy skill. Both of the types that we actually kind of need for this team. But his total lack for bleed, in any regard, combined with the fact that he has a counter skill instead of a void dice. No, I think we're going to stick with the N-Corp guy. Yeah, we're going to stick with this guy. Sure, he doesn't have a Wrath skill, but at the very least he comes with pretty much the same skills that our Mesold comes. So in that regard, I don't really lack any of his ego coins resources, right? Wrath is still going to be an issue, but I guess we can kind of play around that, right? Yeah, we can certainly play around that. Okay then. How about we're going to start the part today with an uptie-free story, right? Let's see. Me? No, don't think I deserve to get all of this. Not like I can refuse if you mean it. Now then, let's see what this is all about. It's probably going to be rather brutal after all. It is Corp, right? Yes, it is freaking Corp. This is not what I hoped for. I didn't know what I was getting into. I wanted to do better. What Shaddy said that day shaped my heart through and through. Or rather, Katie. So I ran out, swearing down that I would never go back. This should be enough. We'll head back. How did I get myself caught up in all of this? You there, Kleinhammer. Sir. Didn't you hear what I just said? We're heading back. Follow me. What's the deal with that odd-looking nail? There's some kind of transparent needle at the center, and it started filling with something when it is shoved into a person. There's a needle inside of the nail? Okay. It's like human. What thought are you occupied with? It's nothing, sir. Today is a day of ritual. You should rid yourself of any distracting thoughts in advance. They're bloody rituals. It's ritual all days. They're going to make me memorize phrases from that head-aching, indulging book. Then they will feed me some sort of white porridge out of a crummy can. Feels like my memories are slowly blurring and melting together whenever this happens. Now the chant. Heretics shall be purged. Huh? What did I just say? Is he getting brainwashed? Is he already getting brainwashed? Every day is the same. Every day is a ritual. And some kind of white porridge. Very, very interesting. But once again, the story was relatively short. Probably one of the older IDs then, right? As, Kuma and Corp, and he sang all 4 of them, or rather all 3. Actually, Basalt as well. All 4, 3, or 3, 5 of them was relatively short, huh? Oh well. I still need to level them up. I can also do that in the other screen. That's gonna be fine. Okay then. Risk level and classification. Let's see what that's all about. Ah, the picture. He's sharpening his nail with a brick. I guess the traffic sucks no matter which nest we go to, huh? Yeah. We've been traveling at a snail's pace through the extreme congestion of the nest for several days now. Rudy is clearly affected by this boredom, excited and bothered. We've been through similar long periods of inactivity before, but boredom isn't something one could easily get used to. I suppose it became part of my job to listen to the sinners complain about the slow pace of our travel. How much longer until T-Corp immigration's checkpoint thingy? My only option is to give them a reminder of how far we are from our destination. Considering that we'll be on a standby for approximately a day at our next stop, and taking into account various other steps we will be making and throughout, our estimated time of arrival is 3 days. 3 days? Oh, it's not like we're traveling very far, but this is just awful traffic. It feels way further than it really is. Rigor's right. It didn't seem like the city was that big. Wouldn't it be faster if we just walked? Maybe there's something in these inevitable, overlong travel times. Something I'm yet to understand. I guess driving around in a large bus through a narrow back street is what's taking us such a long time, right? I believe that it would have been faster to march on foot. Yeah, well, just like I had the same thought about that. It might be much, much faster. We could run. We could pick up Sharon on our shoulders and run. But then again, I guess Virtuous would take the honor of carrying Sharon around. After all, he's much, much quicker and they can take multiple stops in order to get some food on the way, right? Yet, what about our rooms on board? Are you unaware that camping out in the open is a natural part of any long march? Hey, Officer Otis, not everyone's been a soldier here, okay? And if we are lucky, we might even run into those terrifying sweepers before the break of dawn. Even a partial mention of their names drained all colors from Sinclair's face. I remember what the sinners once told me about them. That before the break of dawn, there's these things called sweepers that sweep up every trash in the back streets. It's kind of terrifying how broad the definition of trash can be. They call that hour the night in the back streets or something like that. We're going to run into a sweeper soon? Oh, that would be cool, because let's be serious, the last time we had an encounter with the sweepers, we have learned that they are actually really, really friendly to each other. Even though, occasionally, they decide to eat each other, right? You can't really waste food around here, this is not the type of city. And they do kind of eat humans, right? This bus is one of the few vehicles recognized by the city as a resident vehicle, which means that we remain safe from the hands of the sweepers. Attempting to sleep outside the bus in the back streets would not permit a restful sleep. Instead, one would be forced to survive the onslaught of sweepers for an hour in the early hours of dawn. Makes sense, those sweepers do steer clear of the resident area after all. A slow yet safe travel by vehicle, or a fast yet highly risky march on foot. This is quite a strategic dilemma. I do not believe that the latter option is up for consideration of any fella. This bus is once again consumed by commotion. And into that commotion barged in the creaks of an opening door and a familiar sigh. I understand that you all must be quite impatient, but we are precisely on schedule, so save your breath and stop complaining. By the looks on your faces, I would have been worried about a Monty if I didn't know any better. Those papers in your hands, are those new orders from the higher-ups? Virginius was holding what appears to be a bundle of freshly printed paper. This wasn't the first time something like this happened. Sometimes after communication in his room with the higher-ups of the company, he would bring out a few sheets of paper to bring us up to speed. Yes, a new update. Oh, don't tell me we're going on another detour! I will say that I'm quite done with clearing up those distorted messes, okay? Look, we have to get to... Stop whining like a Petulian child! There won't be more detours until we reach our current destination. And what are the papers about then? Virtuous frowned his brows, walked up to the front of the bus and leaned against one of the first row chairs. He began leisurely shoveling through the documents. This is just an announcement. It says here that there will be some changes in how you record the abnormalities, distortions, and picatulas are categorized. Huh? Wait, so we gotta do a bunch of paperwork? I mean, let's be serious, you guys were bored, that is going to keep you busy, right? No, once completed, the observation logs are all digitized and shared with the upper echelons of the company. Of course, if the observation log themselves needed to be edited, there may be orders to make direct adjustment by hand. However, the categorization of each entity will be updated automatically. They are merely informing the sinners of the upcoming changes. It is nice to have someone else do the explaining for once. She's right. I presume that this has all to do with the newest type of picatulas that we've encountered from before, right? Yes, but that isn't all. Virtuous closes his eyes warily and lightly folds the paper in his hand. He calls out to the two sinners. Yiseng, Ishmael. He was pointing at Ishmael and Yiseng. Yes? You have called upon my name? I leave it to you two, model student, to explain the content of these documents. I don't feel like... I don't feel up to the task of explaining what's on this paper to all of you, you see? With that, Virgilus pretty much offered the paper in Ishmael's hand, before taking a seat in the front row of the bus. Okay, did he just dump his responsibility onto us? Ishmael didn't seem too happy about the sudden turn of events. Still, she opened the documents and began reading. I can never tell if he actually doesn't care about us or if he just narrowly comes off as a cold person. So, what does this thing say, Ishi? Give me a second. So, does it say anything new about the abnormalities? Looks like these documents are from LCD. The sender address says... Oh, LCD! The department that contacted Manager Esquire, is it not? Elsa, was it? I still vividly remember her chaotic, bubbly voice coming through the radio. The former Corp. BAH. The bus began to fill with the familiar, hectic buzz once again. Well, if you would allow me to. Miss Ishmael. What's up with that face? What did you read? He sanctioned in to help with Ishmael's explanation of the documents. But this is exactly why I'm the only one who ever reads the guides. What? I can see veins starting to pop in Ishmael's fingers. At this rate, she's going to drop the documents in favor of her mace. Wait, Ishmael, I got this. Please calm down. I hurried over to Ishmael and particularly hung on to the documents in her hands. We nearly tore the bundle of documents in half, but she quickly gave up and loosened her grip. So, Ryoshu, Otis, please keep Dawn and Heathcliff quiet while I take care of this, okay? Oh yes, this will be fun. Without killing them or beating them up, please, okay? This is going to hurt a lot, and we all know that Virtualists don't like any blood splattered in the bus, okay? Just saying. B-A-H. Ryoshi slowly lowered Don's lance she picked up. Alright then, if you have any questions while Ishmael reads from the documents, raise your hands to be recognized. Yiseng, Faust, you guys don't need to raise your hands to speak, so please chime in if there's any details you can elaborate on. Understood. Very well. Rhodia, if anyone tries to speak out of turn, please smack them lightly in the head. If you do good, I'll make sure to order you an extra dessert during our next team dinner. Oh, you sure know how to motivate people, Dante. What an impressive growth of leadership capabilities, Executive Manager. Alright then, first bonks goes to... Oh, wait, this wasn't... Well, you did kind of speak out of turn, Otis. A few minutes later. After a quick promotion, I found the situation settled enough to return the documents to Ishmael's hands. Then, I will leave it to you. So the former L-Corp, also known as Lobotomy Corporation, used to contain and manage the abnormalities that we have faced in this branch. Even taking into account that their strengths were suppressed by the Golden Bureau, there was a pretty significant difference between the risk level categorizations and the actual risk involved in facing them. Other employees in the higher ups of Limbus company also apparently felt that something was familiar, yet off, and that is why they investigate these issues through the LCD department. So far, there's been 5 categories of risk level. 5? Aren't there only 4 of them? Bonk! Heathcliff, you never learn. Rhodia punched Heathcliff in the crown of his head, and he promptly slumped to the ground, out cold. Maybe it was the suddenness of that hit that did it? Or maybe she put a lot of force into that punch. You didn't really have to kill him, did you? Nah, he will be fine. It's Heathcliff after all. It's not like I smacked him that hard. You literally knocked him out. In one hit. Sinclair quietly raises his hand. Alright, you can go ahead. Ishmael nodded at Sinclair. Well, I thought there were only 4 risk levels. Saying Ted, he, and War. Just like Heathcliff said, because we never, ever ran into an Aleph before, Sinclair. Get ready for it. Once Aleph appears, it's going to get very, very serious. They're the only ones we've seen so far, yeah. But according to these documents, the highest risk level categorized is labeled Aleph. Like I said earlier, there's a pretty significant disparity between their categorizational standards and our experience with them in the field. Which is why they're apparently planning to make an overhaul of these standards by Limbus company standards. Go ahead, Massault. I must inquire what exactly this overhaul entails. Does this mean that the abnormalities will be re-categorized within the pre-existing framework of categorization? Or will additional risk level categories be created? You mean like more than 5? It doesn't elaborate that far, but it says here that Lobotomy Corporation used each abnormalities and Gephilia production capabilities to categorize them into different risk levels. Abnormalities with more complicated, difficult management conditions apparently produced more Gephilia. I guess the more complicated an abnormality is, the harder they are to fight. That does line up with our experience, sort of at least. But it can hardly be said that it was flawless. Looks to me that they're trying to make the risk levels better reflect our own field experience, which doesn't rule out the possibility of them adding more tiers to the pre-existing ones. For we conduct no management but combat against the foes. It is sensible that the standards of risk levels be adjusted in accordance to... What? Rhodia, wait! Yi Seng can speak without raising his hand. He and Faust got an extra ticket. Don't smack his head. Alright, my bad. Managed to stop Rhodia just before her fist connected with Yi Seng's crown. It was almost as if she was moving based on pure instincts. So that is why they overhaul the risk level based on the actual risk each abnormality poses in battle. So we do best, or rather we do well, to be wary of the possible changes to the risk level written in the observational log. Oh, and they will let us know again once the precise details are decided. The next section is about distortion, which is... Dawn. Dawn raised her hand. But Ishmael continued to explain without coming to a stop. She probably just ignored her because she's probably just going to talk about random stuff. So far we've been using the same subject classification code as abnormalities from distortion, but it's gotten pretty clear that there's a big difference between them, enough to give these two groups distinctive classification codes. The difference being Honglu raised his hand and Ishmael nodded. Don appeared a bit crestfallen. The difference is that, when defeated, abnormalities transform into an egg-like form, but distortion don't, am I right? Correct. Distortion can be completely subdued simply by defeating them in battle, but any method of fully slaying an abnormality is yet to be discovered, even in theory. So she says, well, we've all had first-hand experience against them, so it shouldn't be too hard to understand. Here comes the last subject. This one is about the Becatulas. They're going to give them classification code schemes different from abnormalities as well, including the new type of Becatulas we recently encountered. Let's see. Classification bases, abnormalities, distortion, both with elements of uniqueness that is missing in each individual Becatula. Considering this, it has been deemed... okay, I don't really get what this is talking about. Faust walked up next to Ishmael and began to explain. Uniqueness in this context refers to the fact that not the same entity exhibits the same location. It would be helpful to recall that our encounters with the Becatulas have always been against multiple duplications of the same category of Becatulum. Right. However, no such encounter have been made against distortion and abnormalities. Hopefully this can be sufficiently explained for all. Right, so simply put, we just tossed the Becatulas all into the same bin. But each and every one of the abnormalities and distortion is special and unique. He could have explained it much easier if they just... Oh god, you never learn! When did he even wake up? He could seem to have woken up from his coma, but once again was stricken down. I've been looking forward to the extra desert. His moment of lucidity barely lasted a moment. And that's all there is to it. Phew, this is pretty great, huh? It's refreshing doing something like this once in a while. Ah, Dawn. Dawn has not lowered her hands since Ishmael ignored her the first time around. Not even for a brief moment. Fine, ask away. Dost thou know of the name of the LCD employees who had composed that report? Ishmael seems a bit taken aback that Dawn actually managed to ask a rather sensible question, even though it was asked with that very same enthusiasm she has when talking about fixers, that is. Oh sure, please give me a second. Sender, LCD on site, investigational, reasoning team leader, Moses. Well, we might as well keep that name in mind, since we probably run into them sooner than later. I'm sorry for ignoring you, Dawn. I mean, most of the time you just ask very random questions, so I guess she didn't really want to get out of the flow. You know, let's not forget you, Dawn. Just already used to your antics, that's it. Though Dawn was finally given the answer she was passionately craving, she did not appear happy or excited about it. Instead, she seemed to be absorbed in deep thought. Did you expect some kind of very fancy fix or something, Dawn? Oh, it's a bit hard to read Dawn, right? Something wrong, Dawn? I recall hearing that name in the past, yet I cannot quite recall as to who the name may have belonged to. Okay, now we are actually done. Darn, thought I'd be able to collect a bit more desserts. This was more time-consuming than it was initially expected, Dante. Now. Alright, it's about time. Alright then, I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners. This could have dragged on for much longer, but the sinners were thankfully pretty cooperative, so we managed to finish our day early. I followed the sinners to the back doors of the bus, my heart a little lighter that it was the start of the day. Wait, what? It was the start of the day? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Heathcliff? It took me about 30 minutes to realize that we have left Heathcliff out on the cold floor bus. Oh! Oh god. Please tell me that he doesn't get a cold. That would be the worst. Imagine he comes finally home with a freaking cold, without a set of clothes, because we haven't taken care of that at all. God. But then again, I guess we're still on the way. We haven't even crossed the border yet, or the checkpoint, right? Nevertheless, 601, Wuthering Heights. Okay, let's do this. Come back, Heat. To the manor where the last vestige of its beauty remains in its violet flowers. To the manor where its storm broke breach has siphoned all that was once warm. To the manor that gave you not only life, but also scorn and desolation. To the manor where your place was the frozen corner that couldn't be further from the heart. Return from the moss. It's time for you to come home. Okay. I need to get used to this color. After all, we're on Corp, right? Okay then. So this is what Corp's nest looks like, huh? Yeah. Very bland. Very, very bland. We had surprisingly little trouble in making it past the nest border. I guess my concerns were unfounded. We already went past it without an incident? I thought we would have another match. Like in Corp. Would have been fun. Well, somehow we made it through this nest checkpoint without any trouble, at least. This is nothing. For such a wide compliment is unnecessary, sis. But wait, we didn't say anything. She's growing so much. Everyone seems awfully relaxed for having just entered a different nest. I guess everyone's gotten used to this by now. Humdrum routine, I guess. That's the words to describe the general sentiments amongst the sinners. Except for one, that is. What's up, Pete? I know we haven't prepared the clothes yet. Pretty sure there has to be a shop around here somewhere. So, we're heading to this place called Wuthering Height next, right? I could tell from Heathcliff's glum expression that his mind was weighted down by all kinds of complicated concerns. Yeah. Though his eyes were staring at the moving sceneries past the windows, his mind was affixed on something that his eyes couldn't see. Something that laid below the building's walls. Wuthering Heights. That manor must have been built on a windy hill, huh? Yeah, bloody wuthering like the namesake. Not a single corner of that place gave any comfort. Heathcliff's voice carried an unusual dark tone. The other sinners in the bus noticed this and began chatting him up. A return to one's homeland must bring forth quite a tangled mess of emotions, right? Homeland? Well, I wasn't born here. I was raised here. I suppose that could still count as a homeland in a way, right? But it doesn't concern me the same feeling that a homeland is supposed to. That is to say... You have no idea how many times I've imagined it, playing it out in my head, returning to that bloody manor, smashing every little thing in that place to bits, until there's nothing left. You want to destroy that place? But what about the wedding? Or the funeral? Or whatever that is? I mean, Gregor even prepared his dress, and you want to dress up as well. That doesn't really sound like you want to destroy it all, right, Ishmael? Huh. Okay, so you will smash everything to bits. Then what? Did you really learn nothing from watching what I went through at the lake? I did learn something. If I ever lose the plot and push myself to the brink of no return, I trust that one of your lots will pull me right out of it. Are you giving us permission to beat the sense back into you? Yeah, if that is what it takes. Why is he so sad now? Oh, interesting. How far are we allowed to go with bodily harm, I mean? Amputation? Nerve mutilations? Wow. Maybe we could just at least smack his head really hard, huh? Alright, you cheeky bastards. Come on, be serious now. Seriously though, this ain't an invitation to use me as your personal punching bag, okay? I'm not in the mood. Still, I think your present self can do this, Heathcliff. Huh? What do you mean with my present self? Heathcliff, your present self is deprived. You're poor, and you don't really have anything left. Oh my god. What? Poor? Right, now you're skipping past the pleasantries and going straight into personal insults now, eh? Yeah, I'm Oh, I think you took my words in the wrong way. Hong Lu is far from the most talkative sinners, but when he does speak, he usually has something insightful to say. Though since he never said this in a way that is even immediately obvious, his words are very prone to misunderstandings. In a way, we are all deprived, and it can change a lot of things. Maybe there are things that we can understand once we are left with nothing. Does that poverty explain our current slight lack of colorfulness? Dawn looked mournful at everything around her, then at herself. She sounded like she was about to cry. Everything has been drained of color since the moment we entered Corp through the back streets. It feels like even more of our colors have been taken away since then. I was wondering when we would bring that up. Maybe we'll get our colors back soon. Or so I thought, at least. Like 10 hours ago. Are we going to be colorless forever? Are we going to be stuck in this gloomy hue for the rest of our lives? Seriously, nothing looks tasty in this sepia hue. I'm starting to lose even my will to live. Everything in that sickly brown hue. Guys, even meat looks downright rotten in this color. Yeah, that's a bit of an overreaction, isn't it? Oh, and what about those guys? They've got colors in their clothes. Which guys? With an annoyed look, Rudia gestured towards the people outside of the bus. A sufficient amount of payment must be made in order to retrieve your colors. It must be emphasized that this question has been repeatedly answered for 23 separate occasions. Well, let me have a gender. This coat, this trousers. Yeah, that block's not even that loaded. He's only trying to come off as though he is. Real stuff spare no cash to get every single color back. Even to the trivial trinkets like the rim of their glasses. Did you also have to live without colors when you lived here, Heathcliff? No. The manor had some colors, yeah. Though it was still far from vibrant. Agreed. This is a color of shit. Blood should have remained red, at the very least. Oh, he has color on his hat. And shoes. That poor sod is going to get himself shumped wandering around with that look. There's just enough color to invite the bandits, but not enough to keep them away. And they already went for him. Heathcliff's prediction came true soon enough. Several thieves surrounded the block, who only trying to come off as though he's loaded, and bashed him on the head, or rather on the back of his head. Fie! A bunch of shameless villains they are! Preying on weak civilians like a pack of hyenas. Are they what you call a gang? The gangs of Corp have certainly seen better days. I wouldn't even call them a gang. They are just lowlifes running out of time. Running out of time? The last time I was here, scum like them couldn't even dare to infest the streets so breezily. There are gangs that aren't scummy? Of course, the gangs I was in would never dogpile on some poor unarmed block like that. You were in a gang? Ah right, you were in a different association before you went to Limbus company, right? Sharon wants the vroom room. Can't vroom room with a road block. Well, there isn't much point in waiting for the situation to resolve itself. Virgilus finally spoke up after quietly listening in on our discussion for the last few minutes. Take care of them before Dawn starting to make a fuss about it. Oh, an enchantment for justice! I thank thee! It's really starting to get the hang of this, yeah. He's so tired of this. He is so freaking tired of it. Yes. Wait, now the color's even more vibrant than before. I guess there was a different filter on the top of it. But still, why did you wear a red hat, red shoes in the middle of the street where there are no colors? Kind of paint yourself a target on your own head. Especially since you had to place the color on top of your head. Nobody would be able to miss that, right? Okay, there is no time. 6-2. What? Why is it 25? Did they drop the level from 40 all the way down to 25? Okay. That's a bit weird. I guess that's fine. I guess I don't need to jump all the way to 30 then, or to 40. Doesn't really change a thing though, because I still need to use a couple of our tickets. 25 should be good enough then. But then again, they must reach higher than that, right? They're probably going to jump in next couple of fights again. Probably. Not entirely sure. Nevertheless, let's fight. No, seriously though, you should have never gave the color to your head from all things. Never. Away you get. This one is ours. Looks like your lot are running low on time as well. Tough luck. We've only got 30 minutes for ourselves. What is all that time talk? Oi, maybe they are one of the dead rabbits or something. 30 minutes? 30 minutes for what? Ain't possible. The old dead rabbits and their virulent ways are no more. All they do nowadays is staring at you funnily from behind those odd masks. Mask? What are you? Bollocks. We don't got time for this. Let's kill them quickly. They began rushing at us with bloodshot eyes, not giving Heathcliff time to even finish a sentence. Why do they have bloodshot eyes? Didn't they sleep at all? But then again, I guess they're not really strong gangsters. That's probably the reason why they're only level 25, right? 6 paralysis, inflict tremor, only goes up to 10. 6 for another 10 with more tremor and a little bit of paralysis. Tremor burst with 9. They're really not that strong. They don't even have a passive. And the other guy's probably not much better. He only has 9. 4. Well, that one goes to 11 at least. But the last one is 10 as well. Yeah, this is not going to be good for them. I can already say. This is going to be a lesson that they will probably never forget. Let's go for the weak attack for now. We don't really need to go for the strong moves just yet. I do need a little bit more sanity, and here you go. So they even took the colors in the battlefield as well. Except of our coins. Our coins, or rather our attacks, still have colors. And our HP bar and the sanity bar is also colorful. And technically speaking, if we hover over them, they return to their colors as well. Okay, that's very, very good to know. Except of those guys. But then again, never mind, they also return their colors. Okay, that guy is not able to move. We're going to finish him off. He doesn't have enough bleed to counter or to deactivate his attacks. That's good enough. It's not gonna be enough to kill, but we will see. How about a little bit of light blue? I could need more charges. And then we're going to go for overcharge, because we also need the ref. Now I think about it, how many waves do we even have for this fight? Probably not that many. I mean, they are only level 25, right? That's serious. Actually speaking, I don't think that I even need to go for any tactics against those guys. We are seriously over-leveled. 15 levels for the others. The only one that is around the same level is Heathcliff. And I'm pretty sure that Heathcliff wouldn't even have an issue whatsoever against him, so I guess... Yeah! I guess for this occasion and only once, we're going to use the win rate button. I don't think they're able to do anything against us. Let's be serious, there's no way in hell that they are able to beat our guys. In any situations. And if we afflict them with paralysis, it's just going to make it better for us. Look at Ryosha go. She killed him in one go. And the other guy's already down to 30%. God. Even the defense skill does nothing. I think the defense skill pretty much had... Oh, you actually managed to get a hit on him. Oh, that's rare. No, but seriously though. I think the defense skill doesn't even have a secondary effect either. Right? Since they don't even come with any type of passive. It's just a 10 defense. No tremor or anything. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I guess this is just a prologue of the chapter. To show the difference of strength. I mean, even Heathcliff said that those guys wouldn't even dare to leave the houses. In the old times when he lived around here. With his old gang or something, right? Can kinda see why. If they picked a fight with other gangs, they would have probably... And then again, they died either way. I'm pretty sure our sinners didn't really leave them alive. At least with all the blood splattering going all around here. Oh. Oh. Did we keep them alive? Probably not. There's no time. Why is there no time? I think the level was pretty much the same. Do we have a chance to... Could anybody explain to me what's happening right now? Why have we defeating... Why are we killing off those harmless guys? They're so harmless. Sure, they attacked the other guy, but he kind of called for it. Why would he even drove around the nest like that, right, Heathcliff? Oi! Nice head you got there. Where did you get it? I'm sorry. Please, take everything. Take as much time as you want. Here's my watch. Your watch? Sir Heathcliff? Heathcliff was looming over the man and growled threateningly. He certainly fits the look of a villain, from a particular angle at least. Lass, I was just complimenting him for his sharp fashion choice, okay? And that's overreacting. This is literally everything that I have. I don't got any money for the ransom, even if you were to kidnap me, so... Please, please don't kidnap me. I got family. They're all waiting for me to come home. And why did you spend everything on that hat? If you have a family, why did you waste that money? Huh. The man was inadvertently saved from the hands of the thieves, was shuddering and screaming incoherently, almost to an unnatural degree. And we were still not out of the dark alleyway, where other thieves might be waiting to get a jump on us. Like those guys. There's this racket about. Oh, well, what do we have here? I think I'm seeing lots of time rolling in right before us. 10 minutes. No, we will take 5 minutes too. Hand it over, now. Why the hell is every fella here so obsessed with time? If you won't give it up willingly, we'll have to kill you all and take that clock for ourselves. Wait, you mean me? Our clock? Wait, me? I guess we are something like a clock. I can see that, but why? What's all up with our time talk? And I just said it's the same guy. Oh my god, we're gonna kill them again. Not a single one of them is going to be alive after this. And defeated. You... Eek! Dude, please, calm down. You already defeated the next group. If you scream that much, you're going to lure out even more. I already killed 2 waves of very harmless guys. Don't make us fight more of them, okay? Quiet. You will attract even more of them to us. Shut your gobs right now, or we'll feed you to meat grinder back at our rackety cannibal boss. Is that clear? Then... You're not here to kidnap me? Of course not! No, for the... Oh, I don't even know how many times we've already told you that! Of course not, indeed. For we are the Limbus... Just trying so hard not to say it. Ah, Donald... The passerby of justice... So Heathcliff there... Here can be rather brutish in his manner of speech, that's all. Right. Passerby of justice. So why are they asking us for time and not money? True. What is that? Maybe time is just another commodity to be sold and bought here. Guys, is it just me again? The Corp pamphlet guide. Did no one... Really? Nobody read it. Once again, nobody reads the guide. You are literally the only person who reads the guide, Ishmael. Ishmael's eyes started to glaze over. Once again, she may have been the only sinner who bothered to read up on our destination. After all, we spent days in the bus and no one, not even a single person, was interested enough to read it. In Corp, also known as Time Track Corporation, the citizens utilizes timepieces as personal identifications. They often trade with time instead of physical currency. Their means of transactions done via the timepieces that they carry. Most laborers in these lands are rewarded for their efforts with time. Thanks for that explanation, he's saying. I will let it slide this time. So, is this going to be a problem? Or is this the only one of us who carries a watch? Are you serious, Dante? Oh! You mean her broken wristwatch? I always thought that wearing a stopwatch was a neat fashion statement. It's not a fashion item. It never was. How insolent of you to assume... Right. I've been meaning to ask, what got you so freaked out about a kidnapping earlier? Oh, there's a pretty scary rumor of indiscriminate kidnapping going around these Corp streets. These are abandoned streets, so when I saw a dozen or so people running around together, I was scared that you guys might be the infamous kidnapping syndicates or something. We need more details. I want the who, when, where, what, how, and why. Proceed. People have been going missing around here. This kinda became the last known location of a bunch of missing people. Everyone becomes a shut-in during the foggy days, cause they don't want to get kidnapped. Look, it's even on the front page of the Times newspaper here. Mysterious kidnapping, few sweep districts, not even a single body is found. I can keep reading if you want. Basalt, Rhodia, and Dawn began enthusiastically reading the sensational titles and attached articles on newspapers he showed us. Oh ho! I got to check out that award-winning eatery. It's not so far from where we are. Ah, so the time retrieval fixer have said as such in these interviews. Are you guys even reading the same article? Not really. That's right. There are a lot of less people around here than I remember. The street used to be packed with workers heading to their factory jobs and inventors selling their useless trinkets. It's never been this empty. This empty streets of Corp was thick with fog. This bustling crowd from Heathcliff's memories nowhere to be seen. Maybe the lack of color made the fog appear even thicker. This reminds me of the kidnapping rumors we heard when we were working on the Blade Lineage case. True. Missing people. Maybe there really is a messed up kidnapping human traffic syndicates roaming in this area. Maybe. I've never heard of such a syndicate strutting about this place. Back when I lived here at least. It is a statistical impossibility for human traffic syndicates to leave zero evidence behind. There's bound to be one or two that they let slip between their fingers. Especially if the syndicate is so prolific to the point of indirectly discouraging the public from leaving their homes. A body or two will invariably be found. If they really didn't leave any bodies, then maybe it was worse than just the usual murder case. Maybe it will be even more dangerous the more we look into it. If it's not just another violent tragedy, then maybe there's more to this than we think. Maybe there's some powerful organization pulling the strings again. You know, that's a lot of conjecture to make just from the fact that no bodies have been found. I'm sorry. Guys, the nights in the back streets. A single sweep from the sweepers leaves nothing behind. Every trash in the back streets, including corpses, is completely cleaned up. Right. They would clean up even the corpses. Yeah. Cause it's kinda scary that they clean up more than just trash. Yeah, the idea of Sweeper really freaked Sinclair out for a while. That's because Rhodia kept making funny noises and Sweeper impressions at me every night. Why would you do that, Rhodia? Haven't you learned from the ghost ship? Sinclair doesn't really like horror stories. Not one bit, right? And the ladder. Wait a second. Let me just double check on the time really quickly. Oh, I think we are already running out of time. I'm not entirely sure how long the chapter's going to be. Seeing how there's no fight involved in this one, I would almost assume that this ladder thing is probably going to be relatively long. Okay, I would say this is a perfect moment to make a little cut. In the next part, we're going to start off the next chapter right away with a ladder, from the looks of it. Hopefully, we can finally get an explanation about the whole timepiece thing that they're going on about. What's this with 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, running out of time? Is anybody going to explain to us what that's all about? Hopefully? We'll see. We'll see. Nevertheless, I hope you guys had fun. And once again, if you guys notice anything weird in the recording itself, please tell me about it. I still need to adjust the settings. I think that I'm pretty much done with it, but it's better safe than sorry, right? Better safe than sorry. Nevertheless, Until next time, bye bye!